Okay, part 2.
And we're back.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you.
Well, yes, I don't say anything here anyway.
Wait, am I?
Yeah, but then everyone's going to be like, why are you waiting?
I think I'm always cut off.
Are you?
Kind of. That's cool. That's good, right?
With your head, you mean?
No, I mean like I was sitting over here last time.
Come closer.
Yeah.
Come closer.
Okay.
All right. On 3, guys. 1, 2, 3. Hi. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Be Uplifted. Pew, 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 pew. So Vince's new thing is a new sound effect every time.
Dang, I got blessed into that.
Yeah. So now you got to do it every episode. Come up with a new
noise.
Oh, okay.
You can be that guy from Police Academy.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
So how's everyone feeling today? It's been a long time.
Oh,
Yep.
It's been a couple minutes since.
So for those of you that are new here, if you guys don't know, we film multiple episodes in one night so that it just works out for our schedule that way. So if you see us with the same top or joking about seeing each other yesteryear, it's because we're actually sick of each other. We've been with each other all night.
That's why we film only once a month.
Exactly.
It's because we can't really stand each other.
Yeah, it's all fake, guys. We really hate each other secretly.
I just found out her name.
I know. I thought this guy was toxic Mr. something. You know, I didn't know his name was Vince this whole time.
Yeah, stripper names.
I know. All right. So, how are you guys feeling?
Well, I mean, good. Good.
How's that burrito?
4. Burrito's good. Thank you, intern number 1, for driving all this way, but to drop me off a burrito.
Dude, I just asked him too. I was like, so does intern number 1 live near here? And he goes, no, she lives near you. Mind you, I live far from the studio.
It's like 24 minutes
I was
away.
like, oh shit, what a nice person. She's always dropping off sweet treats and all kinds of stuff. So thank you, intern number 1. You are the real MVP.
You're the bestest.
I feel I actually like. I love the fact that she's so supportive, but sometimes I feel bad, especially like when you guys are all coming down to the hookah lounge to support me, because the hookah lounge is over here. And they come out and sometimes they like shut down the club. They're there until 2:00 in the morning. And I'm like, dang.
Yeah, but you know, the thing is that it's comfortable because there's music and there's stuff that we can joke around about. It's, you know, there's other hookah lounges that they go to, that normally go to. It just, the vibe is different.
Yeah.
So
I still have to go. I've been a terrible friend and I haven't been able to
That's all
go,
good.
but it's on the bucket list for sure.
You know what? I do like the fact that of all the places that they go to see me at, it's there because I have full control. I get to throw Rich on the turntables. He gets to DJ. I get to play whatever I want. I've played Britney Spears and DMX in the same night.
I love that.
You know
That's
what I mean? So it's something that I love to do, and it's like I don't have to. Oh, it's hip hop night. It's this. It's like no. I'm gonna play country music and Indian music
and Indian music
and K-pop.
Yep.
Nice.
And
Rich.
Yep.
K-pop is your thing. We all know. No, I'm just
It's
kidding.
my thing.
Yep.
But anyway.
Also, new change. He's not wearing a black shirt. You guys noticed that?
Wow.
We are widening our horizon. Season 4, guys.
I'm not editing a black shirt on him.
He has a love life now, and he has a not black shirt.
This is courtesy of Sushi Garage, the one of the other podcasts or whatever that I'm on.
Nice.
They film every
Kyoto.
Wednesday, right?
Yeah, so I'm not that. Unfortunately, sorry, Wilmer. If you're finding out this way, I'm not gonna be part of it anymore because of my night job.
Dang.
Yeah.
It's on Wednesdays though.
Yeah, I work on Wednesdays also.
Oh,
Tuesday
now
and
we
Wednesday,
know.
and then I'm gonna go into Thursdays.
dang.
Wow.
Well-
so I'm gonna start stripping at that club. Just kidding.
Hey, you better make sure they know she's joking, guys. But you know, Wilmer can come join us in this podcast.
Actually, you know what? I invited him, and he said that he'd be down to come through. We just gotta figure out when we're all gonna be available for that.
Together.
Yeah.
Maybe the next one because we have the date down already. We'll talk about that after.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So talking about a little bit more of a serious topic.
Because the last episode, you're like, I need something more uplifting.
Well, this is not uplifting, but it is something that has been brought to my attention a couple of times, which is why I ask. Okay. I've been talking about this with a couple of my circle of friends, and I was like, you know what? We've never really talked about that. I actually asked Rich. I was like, Rich, have we ever? Because we're 3 seasons in. Sometimes I forget some of the things that we've talked about. Sometimes it's repetitive, So I was like, have we ever talked about life after divorce? So I told them I wanted to, if they didn't mind, which they are both very kindly being an open book for me.
We're still here.
Yeah, they're still here. I was like, let's talk about life after divorce, male perspective wise, because Lonnie's not here. She's never experienced a divorce, obviously. But I've had a couple of friends that have gone through that lately, and I kind of just wanted to pick.
Or are going through it.
Or a couple of people I know that are thinking about.
Are they female friends or males also?
I have both.
Both?
Yeah. So that's why I wanted to do both perspectives, because I hear sometimes the guy's perspective of it and I hear sometimes the girl's perspective, and it's just interesting,
I would like to meet half of those friends.
Like one of the couples, I'm close with both, right? The male party and the female party.
So it's like they're separating, but you're like in the middle.
Yeah, I hear both sides, and it's just interesting to hear like why he thinks it happened, and how he's dealing with it, and interesting to see how she's dealt with it and how her perspective on why things went awry, So I was kind of like, that'd be interesting to talk about with the guys, because I know you guys have both experienced that in the past. But of course, I had to ask them first, because I know it's also a very touchy subject for some people, So
it is, but it's
been long enough. So I was like, we can talk about this. Yeah. So, okay, if you guys don't mind me asking to kind of introduce, can you kind of give me a little bit of history about the relationship? Not necessarily like who or like how you fell in love, but like how long were you guys together, and like what kind of led up to that, if you don't mind me asking? You don't even have to tell the details, just kind of like what led up to it.
It's like 8 years.
It's been 8 years?
No, it was 8
an 8-year relationship.
8-year marriage.
Oh, okay.
And then and then it's weird because it's like you're separated, but you're living together just because of finances. And
so you did that for a little while.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's another thing that I was going to ask about, because I have a couple of friends that went through that too. They were like, we were not really together for like 6 months at the end there, but we had to separate everything.
Yeah. And then, do military duties. And when I came back, it was already like, then it gives you the opportunity to kind of like live separately at that point.
So you guys were technically still on paper married, but you were separated.
Yeah.
Okay. How long did it take for it to become official? Like went from the moment when you were like, okay, this is not going to work anymore, to the official divorce. Do you remember?
But I'm really bad at these, but I'm saying like 4 years maybe.
Oh, okay. So it kind of dragged on for a little bit long.
It dragged on.
How did you feel about that? Was that like hard for you, easy for you? Did you want it to be faster, or did you not really care?
I didn't really care.
Okay.
I mean, it was just.
Did you find yourself in a relationship at all during those like that limbo time? Do you know if she did?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the reason why I asked that too is because I was going to ask your perspective on that. Like, if you're separated, but on paper you're technically together, does that give the other person a right, or both of you the right to start dating if you both know that it's ended?
I feel like you should, but again, that's where I think men, we fail because we move on too fast.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because we're like, how Vince always says that women are ruled by their emotions and we're more logical.
Logic, yeah.
But Mother Nature, it works different.
Yeah.
Like we're almost ready to pounce and move on and how do I put it? Because at first it's like you're sitting there and you're like, fuck, this is like a whole new world. It's like then you're like, oh shit, I got freedom. Then now like your instincts kick in, and now you're like
looking for a mate almost.
Yeah, and it's almost like, bro, it just happens too fast. So no, I would just like, no, whatever we did, that whatever happened that led to the divorce, I I knew I played a part in that also. So I had to fix that. I mean, I've said it before. Like I had to fix that, or else I'll just keep doing it in the next relationship,
Right.
and the relationship after that. So
Leading up to the divorce, did you see signs that it was going to be that, or was it something in your personal experience? Was it something that kind of came out of left field where you're like, oh shit, I didn't see that coming? Or were you like, I kind of knew that was the end, that it was coming to an end?
yeah, you kind of. It's weird because I prepared.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I started. I had this mindset, and I think I forget this book. I read this book on like divorce or something. I can't remember the name of it.
So we should write a book.
An interesting book.
But in the book,
divorce.
it says it basically it outlined what I was truly feeling. Where it's like I played a role in that, right? Whatever it is, whether it's infidelity, whether it's just growing apart, I play a role in that.
Yeah.
So a lot of times people don't get divorced because they have money problems. They have money problems because they have relationship problems.
Yeah. You said that before, and I agree with that 100%.
Right. So a lot of times, so what I did was I had to go back and figure out what I was doing wrong, whatever it is. You be honest with yourself, because nobody's listening except you. So
Right.
why would you lie to yourself, right? And then so what I did was I basically started to fix what was the issue
Before it even ended?
before it even ended, because if me fixing it somehow saved the relationship, well, that's great.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, I'm prepared. I've dropped off the baggage and prepared myself for the next one.
Okay. Do you feel like you've done that fully now? Or do you still think that you carry some weight from that baggage?
No, you don't carry. You don't see. The thing is like the problem is that you dump it, right? But it's like anything in life. It's like you don't know if I could practice scratching all night, all day long, but until I apply it,
Right. Yeah.
you're not gonna know. So
it's true.
If I went years without being in a relationship, so how would I know if I fixed myself? How do I know if I don't revert back to how it was?
It's true.
You know what I mean? But now I'll be honest, I kind of did. I kind of reverted back to like how it was. Then, but then
But are you more mindful now?
yeah.
So you did learn that at least. Yeah.
I learned to pay attention more, like not to just shrug it off.
Right. Right.
But yeah, so it's like it's basically that, and I think it's the thing is that men and women approach divorce
Very differently.
very differently.
Can I ask, and you cannot answer this question because I know it's very personal. Did you ask for it or did she? Or was it mutual?
I think she did.
Okay. And before it actually happened, was there discussions of it beforehand? Like, you know what, if this doesn't change, I'm going to ask for a divorce? Or was it just finally to like, you know what, I want a divorce? Like, was there warnings?
I don't think there was like well, the I guess the heated arguments and just the disrespect when you're talking to each other might as well be I need a divorce. You just take it as what how else are you going to get out of that?
Right.
You can't save anything when you guys are talking to each other that way.
Yeah. It's true. So tell me about, and then we're going to go to Vince next. Tell me about like what life looked like after you were finally like alone. Like how did you cope with that? What kind of feelings did you experience?
Well,
were you happy? Did you go through the 5, steps of grieving as they say you do,
There's 5 steps of grieving?
Isn't there like 5, like blaming, acceptance, anger? There's like, I think there's 5. And it's not just for death. It's like for even like losing a relationship or.
Initially you're relieved. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, I don't know, it's weird. It's like like I said, you're kind of like, oh, cool. Like like it's finally done. I'm happy. And then
7 steps.
seven.
Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance, shock, then sadness. Oh, and then guilt and anxiety. So there's more than 7.
Well, there's definitely anxiety, but it happens after the euphoria or the feeling of like relief. So you feel that relief, like the.
So initially you felt relief.
Yeah, and then it sets in. And it's like now you have all these different anxiety, depression. A lot of times, men blame themselves for the divorce. I don't think women do.
Oh, well, yeah, they don't. No accountability. None.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is just my opinion, but I feel like the reason why a lot of women don't take accountability is because it takes not all, there are some shitty women out there, you know, so I will put that disclaimer out there, but a lot of times I've noticed and I've seen is like the reason why women don't blame themselves is because it takes a lot for them to even get there, that there's already been like years of trying to work it out or trying to change on their end and it just doesn't work, and you know, and then you just give up because like one of the things that I learned about in therapy is like a lot of times a woman that lasts like 2-3 few years, you know, they're already like giving it everything that they got, and then it's not until the woman is actually walking out that the man will be like, wait, I'm ready to change now. But at that point they're already fucking done with it, you know, like they're done with the bullshit.
Yeah, but I think at the because you're saying life after divorce.
Yeah, so that's
in
the
process, right?
Not so exactly.
I think that, and I could be wrong, but this is how I feel.
Right.
Right. I think men carry a lot of that guilt, and they carry a brunt of the pressures that come after divorce. You know, if they have kids, right? If they have kids, now what do you do? What do you do?
Pay child support.
Pay child support.
Right.
You have a house. Who gets the house?
Usually it's the female.
Now
Yeah.
you have to go find yourself a house, while still thinking whether or not it's financially feasible for you to even afford a house
while paying child support.
while paying child support and probably paying the mortgage on the house that she lives in,
And alimony.
and then maybe alimony too. So yeah, I think a lot of times but that feeling of having to come up with everything will make even the most caring husband or the caring family man fall into the deep hole of anxiety, depression, because now he has to think about all of that. So that blame starts coming in, like, oh, it's my fault. That is, I'm being penalized for this.
So you, as someone that lived a life after divorce, how did you, like, what was your process of like healing and like getting out of that mentality of like, man, like I did this, I was the one that was to blame, and kind of like, I guess the question is how did you restart your life after divorce?
When I finally realized it wasn't me. No, I mean, you just. I really personally don't want anything to do with the other party. You know, and being able to separate out of that and distance myself while still, yeah, you could be cordial.
Yeah.
But there's still that distance. I think that distance, and then just being able to be more like stable in myself, like whether it's financially or whatever, made it a lot better.
So do you feel like you as a person benefited from the divorce? Like not necessarily benefited like monetarily or whatever, but just like you think it's better for you, you grew and more and you became a better person after?
Well, that's kind of like a subjective question, right? Because like if we were able to work it out, I would be a totally different person too. So who says that could have been worse, or who said that couldn't have been better?
That's true. So
You know what I mean? The divorce part and having to battle through the anxiety, the depression, the loneliness, or whatever, you kind of reinvent yourself. Sometimes people say, "Oh, I found myself." No, you basically learned how to cope with the past traumas and the drama that you went through, and then from that, yeah, you became stronger, but it's because you had to,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, but do we really need that? No, you know, like who wants to go through a couple years of being depressed, high, you know, your blood pressure skyrocketing, all that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, people say, "Oh, I'm much better now." Well, yeah, but what
You didn't really have a choice.
you didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
What did you go through in the last 6 years to get to where you were? But really, if the marriage were to work out, you didn't have to go through the last 6 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let's turn the tables to you. So you tell me a little bit about your experience, because I know, you know, that's why I wanted to interview both of you guys, because different experiences, you know, other people watching could have different things that they can relate or pull out of it. Can you tell me a little bit about, again, you don't have to give details or names or anything, but like how long your relationship was, and if like what led to that, or not necessarily what, like how it ended in that way, you know?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I think that we're only together for about 3 or 4 years. That's including dating and then the marriage.
You were pretty young, or?
Yeah, we're pretty young. We're high school sweethearts.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, we were together for in high school terms a long time.
Right.
But we're together after high school and everything, and we got a place together and everything. We got married after Alyssa was born.
Okay.
But then, yeah, we just we kind of split up. It was a little bit more mutual, but it was definitely, you know, her initiating it. I didn't want it.
You didn't want the divorce?
No, I didn't want the divorce because I wanted to stay together for my daughter, but at the same time, we had very different views on how to parent.
Okay.
And then we also had different life goals. We had different. We didn't have a good future together, or our futures would have never aligned.
They clashed,
Yeah.
basically. So just to put this into perspective too, there's a little bit of a different dynamic, right? Because you're not close with your ex, right?
They're cordial.
I mean, cordial, but you're not
Yeah.
like friends or anything like
Yeah.
that, correct or no?
The thing is, like, we have mutual friends, so we see each other all the time.
But you're not like, okay, like for example, like you talk about your ex kind of more endearingly, like, oh yeah, you know, me and her get
Oh
along
yeah,
great.
she's a fantastic person.
Yeah,
She's
so
not
you don't have
fantastic
that
person for
same-
me, but she's a fantastic person.
Okay, so that there's a little bit of different dynamic there, which is why I kind of wanted to see both sides, because there's like the one that ended badly and kind of like stayed that way, and then there's like you who's like, oh, we kind of. So yours was more like you grew apart because you were different people.
Yeah.
Okay. Was there any kind of like specific trauma there, like with Rich, or was it really just that you grew apart and didn't
No,
have-
I definitely think that there was some anger built up on her end.
Okay.
Now looking back on it, I was taking the blame because, you know, like we blame ourselves.
Yeah.
Us as guys, if something's broken, we're supposed to either maintain it so it didn't, or we're supposed to fix it. And
yeah, especially when you're trying to fix it and somebody says, "I want a divorce," then it's your fault. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's
it's
tough, yeah.
it's really tough. And to be honest with you, now that I'm looking back at it, it's like, yo, I wasn't really a bad person. It's just that things change so that we can keep up with certain things. Like, she wanted to still have particular life, right? And I'm not saying she wasn't a party girl. She wasn't like going on trips. She wasn't buying Louis Vuitton bags and stuff like that. But because at the time she was going to school and I was making all of the money and then I was working multiple jobs, but she still wanted to spend time with me. It's like, okay, well, if we're going to afford these things, I got to do all of these things. And then the fact that she wanted one thing, but we couldn't have that unless I provided for that. So there were contradicting goals. But I didn't, you know, like, to be honest with you, back then I was just thinking, how can I spend more time with my wife?
I see.
But I never thought of just sitting her down and saying, hey, I understand that you want to spend more time with me, but I you also have to understand that the way that we can spend time together is if we cohabitate, where I'm paying all of these bills with all of these things that I'm doing.
Yeah.
So you have to, like, you have to accept the fact that the more we grow, the more we have to pay.
Yeah.
And if I'm the one that's paying for it, I'm gonna be gone. You know.
So life after divorce. So okay, I have another question, same as his. Did she ask or have warnings beforehand, or was it kind of like an out of the blue thing? Like, I know there's fights leading up to it, but like, for example, I have one friend who ended up getting divorced, and she told her man for about 2 years, like, listen, I'm really unhappy. These are the things that I feel like need to be worked on. Otherwise, that's where it's going to end, you know? And in my opinion, because I'm friends with both of them, I feel like she expressed it pretty healthily. You know, and she expressed it pretty consistently, and not in like a blaming, you're doing a shitty job, but expressing like, this hurts me, you know? And he would say, oh, I understand. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. And then he would do nothing with that information, right? And he kind of just like sat on it, like thinking that it would go away, almost. Very avoidant type of person. And then they ended up getting a divorce. And when she showed up with the divorce papers, he was like he was blindsided almost. He was like, oh my God, I didn't think it was that bad. And me and my friends and even his best friend looked at him like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, she has been telling you this for 2 years, that things need to change. Like, why are you acting surprised? You know, so that's why my question is like, did you see it coming? Did she ask for it beforehand or give you like a pre-warning, or was it kind of like left field for you?
To be honest with you, she probably did try to express herself on it, but whether she was expressing herself in a way that I couldn't hear it, or I wasn't listening because I wasn't prepared for it, or if I was just a jerk, whatever, I don't know. Because I wasn't always perfect.
Yeah. You're so perfect now, so
Yeah.
it's tough to imagine you otherwise.
But the thing is that, you know, it's hard for me to take accountability because I'm just saying that as a blanket statement. But I'm pretty sure that I had a lot of flaws, and it was, you know, there's a good chance that it was more my fault of the divorce, but she initiated it.
Were you surprised when she initiated it, though? Is what I mean. Like,
I don't know if you, so okay, I don't mean to be mean, but you're a girl. You won't understand this, but I kind of felt nothing.
okay.
You know, like when it came down to that, I was just thinking about my daughter. You know,
Yeah.
and that's what, like, that was the hardest thing, is because, like, you know, you work so much so that you can provide for your family, and then the person that means the most to you is being taken away from you from the second person that means second most to you. You know what I mean? So it really sucks, but you know, what can you do? Because I'll admit I wasn't around a lot because I would work 2 full-time jobs.
Yeah.
And then, like, when I was home, I was watching my daughter so that my ex could go to school.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of no sleep, you know? Like, I only slept on Sundays. Other than that, it was just naps.
I see.
So, but yeah. And yeah, leading up to that, yeah, maybe I didn't have energy to do the things like family things and stuff like that. We didn't get to go to JCPenney and take pictures with a big crayon.
Yeah.
You know, or, well, I don't know, like these
Nobody-
Shit that girls like to do. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll take the bullet for this. I'll say that it was my fault. But I don't think I'll do anything different.
So his initial reaction, he said, was he felt relief, right? Because he's kind of sick of like the fighting, and like it was like, okay.
Well, there wasn't a lot of fighting with me and her.
Okay, so that was my initial question.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't a lot of fighting. So what was your feelings when it did happen? Was it relief? Was it disbelief? Was it like, what was when you look back and you put yourself in that time, which I know you guys don't really want to do that, but what was your initial like feeling that came?
If anything, it was probably betrayal.
Oh, that's a good
because
word.
she did she left me alone, and then it was one of the things that she said to me was, she wanted to know if I was going to still stay at the apartment that we had. I was like, I don't know. I'm probably just move in with my parents. She said, well, what if I want to come back? I was like, well, why don't you just stay here then? You know, because she left, but then she stuck me because my name was on the lease.
Oh, okay.
You know, I was the only one when we got married. I think at that time I was either the only one working, or I was the one that was making the majority of the income, and everything was just in my name.
Your name.
So, yeah. Oh no, wait, she was on the lease too. I remember because after that, she wouldn't sign off the lease because she wanted to come back, or she was saying she wanted to use me as a safety net, and so I was like, you know what, I just don't want to be here anymore. And I was really, 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 really trying to get evicted, so I would throw parties at the apartment, all like all day, all night, left the door open all the time. People just came through and like. We'd play loud music, and I thought that my neighbors would complain. They were at the party. Like,
they went
I was like, guys, you live next door. Go home.
So I've seen two versions of males in a divorce, right? Which version were you? Because you mentioned partying. Because I've seen the one that deals with it by distracting himself, right? With partying and drinking and going out. And then I've seen the other kind that falls into the depression and kind of like turns into like a hermit mode, you know, and like disconnects from everyone because of it. Which version were you guys initially after the divorce?
I think I was either or, like just depending on the day. Depending on the day, like I could be like a hermit and be like whatever, and then somebody like, hey man, we're gonna go to Acapulco's, you know, remember that?
I remember that place. Yeah,
that's so old. Oh my god, you just hella aged up.
I miss that the endless like chips and salsa.
Yeah,
oh my god.
Yeah, like hey, or Tio Leo's.
Yeah, Tio Leo's.
Oh my god, I used to sing karaoke at Tio Leo's all the time.
Yeah, but you know, some people be like,
so funny.
All right, man, I'll meet you there, and you'd be like, then you just like you drink, and then next thing you know, you're no longer the guy that was
depressed 5 seconds ago.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys ever like? Okay, so I know that now, like you're working on it and stuff like that. But did you guys ever find yourself really being like, you know what, I need to grow and I need to be a better person because of this situation? Like you said, you did a little bit of that before. How did you cope with that? Were you kind of just like, well, fuck it, I like this is stupid, or did you really do what Rich said, which is kind of like take a step back and go like, what do I need to fix about myself?
No, because there was a lot of like peace. You know, it was mostly like I'm missing my daughter, but I didn't have. I wasn't questioned about the things that I wasn't doing wrong, so I was completely okay with that. And then I had my own place, and then after a while I had some friends, and then I was like, I want to leave this place. I want to go into another place, and yeah, for a while, I think my girlfriend after, we were living together, and we're like, we just want to be somewhere else. And so yeah, I moved on kind of quickly. Because
you mind me asking, how long after you got divorced did you jump into a relationship, like an actual relationship?
I don't know. Only a few months.
What about you, Rich? Not like flings or dates, but like how long did it take for you to jump into like an actual relationship after?
Recently.
Is this the first one after like full blown relationship? Yeah. Oh, interesting. And you've had how many serious relationships since? 3. Okay. But you also got divorced young, right? Like a lot younger?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I was only like 22.
Okay.
Yeah, 22, 23. I'm not good with like dates, but yeah, I think it was around like 22, 23 is when I was divorced, and then I had a relationship. Oh no, I'm sorry, I had 4 long relationships since then.
So what would you guys say is the toughest thing about life after divorce as
getting your stuff back?
I think you know, like it's a combination of a lot of things. I think like for me, I took my time to get back in a relationship, you know. Vince obviously didn't. There's pros and cons to that. I think that sometimes when you rush, it's really hard to find quality individuals when you're at your worst.
That's a good way to put that.
You know what I mean? And you know, I don't know who the 4 are. Or you said, I think I met 1, right, or 2.
I know you met I think you know of one. You met another one. Like
No,
you know the most recent long-term relationship
Yes.
that I had, but the one prior to that, I think you
I
either
met her.
know her or know of her.
We hung out
Did we?
taking photos of Balboa Park.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Help me with my dog.
Yeah. No. But I'm saying, like, you know, like, I don't know how long those lasted, but it's almost like they didn't last. So it's still, you know, the object it's like, it's almost like, I don't know. And I didn't want that to be like back in that loop and then the same thing over and over and over again. And, you know, and as I said, you know, you can practice all you want, but until you're on the field, you're not going to know whether or not you know, these habits are going to come back. Some do, some don't. So you just got to work it out.
So what is the toughest thing then after life after divorce? What would you say was the hardest thing for you to overcome? Because now you're
not having money in my bank because I keep having to pay for this, pay for that.
So it was more monetarily was the toughest thing as a man. Yeah, that's interesting because I feel like that's probably a lot of men's take is it really is hard like financially on them because I hear that from a few of the guys, even not even guys, like even people in my family, like my uncles that have divorced, they're like, nah, this is too hard. Like I fucking have to pay for this bitch. You know what I mean?
Well,
like things like that.
It's true though, because okay, let's say your child support is $500 a month. Let's just say $500 a month. So you're paying this every month, and then come time for school. Oh yeah, now you already paid the $500, but now you got to go back to school shopping.
Oh, I hate that was one of the things I hated the most. The surprise, she needs this.
Yeah.
You know. Oh, by the way, she's taking piano. I'm gonna need half for this. Oh, by the way, she's taking ballet. I'm gonna need half for this.
But the problem is, I'm already paying child support.
Yeah.
So if I'm giving you $500 this month, and this month is the month before school starts, where did the $500 go? I get that it goes somewhere to, I don't know, rent or whatever, but rent isn't that's not what it's for.
Okay, so when you say that, there was this person that I don't know this person personally, but they were on, I want to say Instagram, and it was a couple, and they were separated, but they were amicable, right? Like they were on good terms, and the male, it's actually coming from the male, right? Gives child support, right? Pays for half of her rent, pays for half of the child's cell phone, pays for all this stuff. And his take on it was, you know, there's a lot of men out here that get upset about the things that they pay for. And I see both sides because I've seen my mom. She doesn't really get such child support, and she pays for so many things. And my dad will throw a couple of things, some money, and it's not even close to what the expenses are for my brothers, right? So, or in the past when they were younger. But this male was basically saying, like, I pay for half her rent because I want to ensure that my daughter is in a safe neighborhood, and part of that is making sure she lives in a better home. I pay for her cell phone because I need half of her cell phone because I too want to get a hold of my daughter. So I feel the responsibility of that. I pay for, there was like a bunch of things that he pays. Oh, the car. He's like, I pay for half of her car because she takes my daughter around. That ensures that it's safe and this and that and this and well taken care of. And the girl doesn't have a man, you know what I mean? So it's not like her own man could take care of, like her own new husband or whatever. So it was like she was still taking care of half. And he was like, I just don't understand what the problem is when like whatever I pay, all the things I'm paying for has my daughter involved in it. So I don't have a problem with that.
But then when it comes to, let's say, like school supplies and stuff, he has to pay for half of that too?
No, it was just like the major things.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like, if I'm giving you money, okay, so let's put this out. I'm giving you this amount. I'm taking care of everybody's cell phone bills. I'm taking care of like the Disney Plus account, the Netflix, whatever.
Yeah.
and then you're like, oh yeah, well, I need your half because we just bought clothes for school. Why am I giving you extra when I'm already paying for all this?
Yeah, because so first off, child support is supposed to be to support the child.
Right.
So if they need these things, that's what that money is for.
Right.
So how come all of a sudden you need more from me? Why are you not?
Well, okay. So for example, with my mom, right? Like she got an X amount of money for child support because of the calculations, right? But that didn't even cover half of the expense. Like it wasn't even her like using it for A, B, and C, like for the house. It was literally like, okay, well, cool. Like that $500 a month paid for maybe like this activity and a couple of days of their food, you know? But like when you really think about it, there's food every single day to be paid. I take them back and forth to this and that, you know? Okay. So it was still very short.
I understand. If you have multiple kids, I only have one.
Okay. That's different.
I only have one.
Yeah.
And I'm giving you, if your rent is, let's say $1,500 or let's say $1,000.
Okay.
Let's make it easy.
Yeah.
And I'm giving you half of that.
Yeah.
Why are you asking me for an extra $50 a month because she has piano and it's $100 a month?
Mm-hmm. Because it's your daughter.
But I'm giving you money though.
But these are the problem with this too is these are decisions that they made without me.
I see that too.
So why are you deciding how to spend the money?
Right.
You know, like what you shouldn't decide that you want something and then demand that source from somebody else
without consulting you about it.
Like my daughter never told me that she wanted to learn any of those things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But the things that she wanted to learn, I was fully supportive of it. You know?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Do you agree with him that the hardest thing to deal with after divorce is the money? It's the monetary?
No, I think that the hardest thing after a divorce is wanting to trust somebody again.
That's deep.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
And it's not even like being able to trust somebody again. It's just wanting to.
I've heard that expressed from a couple of my guy friends. They're saying like it's just really like the work you have to put into getting to a relationship again and wanting to do that.
Yeah. But I'm also speaking like so we got divorced a long time ago, right? And I'm a bad hypocrite for this because after our divorce, I got into a relationship not too long afterwards. But I'm also speaking on like, you know, what's going on like now in my life because this is easier for me to remember. And to be honest with you, I just really don't think that most girls don't have an ulterior motive. You know, because as wonderful as my ex was, there was still some times that she would use my daughter to just out of spite.
I can't stand women that do that.
Yeah, and it happens, and I think that
it does happen.
Yeah, I think that my daughter's mom is a fantastic person. But because their women are so emotionally driven,
yeah,
it's more likely to happen as opposed to like, well, I'm kind of happy right now, so why would I let somebody else ruin that?
Okay, so I have to ask your opinion on something that is personal to me, right? So my ex that I had my daughter with, right? We went to fight for child support like when she was a baby, right? And at the time, he claimed that he had her 50%, right? He's like, I have her 50%, and my job is this really low income job. So till this day, I probably get like $130 or something like that, right? And even then, he didn't pay it for like years. So, and then he went to jail and like all that stuff. So anyways, fast forward to now, I've never updated that, right? I've never asked him for money. I've never asked him for the back pay. I'm just not that type of person. Like, I'm like I'd rather not deal with you than have money. Like, that's kind of how I feel, you know?
For $130, you know, I don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, whatever, dude. Like, that's barely paying for her fucking...
I'll show a nipple on OnlyFans.
Literally, exactly. Right? And before that, like the 130 is like now, right? Like that's what I'm getting now. Back then I was getting like $60 a month, like to be honest, because of what he wrote down on paper. Mind you, it was a lie. I have her full time and I won full custody of her after he went to jail, like full custody. And everyone's told me till this day They're like, what are you doing? You should go to court because your daughter's getting older. She is getting more expensive. You know, she's got activities now. She's going to start driving soon, et cetera, et cetera. And they're like, why don't you take what's yours? Not for you, but for your daughter, because she deserves that, you know? And I struggle with that because I've always been very independent. I'm like, no, first of all, I don't need the fucking money. I've done it without him for the last like 14 years. You know, like why the fuck do I need to ask him for money? Mm-hmm. And then 2, I don't want to deal with him. Like I don't want to fucking see him again. I don't want to talk to him again. But I see the sentiment of what people are saying. Like, this is not for you. This is for her, you know? And even my daughter's like, yeah, Ma, why don't you fucking hit him up for child support? Like, I deserve that shit, you know? And I'm like...
Yeah, they're looking at, like, the monetary side.
Right.
Like, for me, I was like, I always questioned it. And women don't like this question. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know why. I mean, I probably know why. Mm-hmm. But if I can take care of... If you give me custody of my daughter... Mm-hmm. And I could pay for everything and not ask you for a dime, why do you have custody?
I mean, I that's interesting to me because I agree with that. But like for me, I don't even know that experience because I was with someone that didn't want our daughter.
No. But
if you wanted to,
but that's what you're saying though. It's like I can take my daughter, raise her without your help. I don't even need you here. That's why you're not chasing it. Right. So, but a lot of times it's like I ask if the father is a good father, let's make it
hypothetical,
but let's make it clear. The guy has to be a good dad.
Yes.
Right? A good man, whatever. If he can take care of the child without asking you for a dime, why do you have support? Why do you have custody and I have to give you money?
I don't know. I wish I had the answer to that because that's a good question.
Right?
You know, it is a good question.
I mean, why?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's more like you said.
That's the same reason why I question why do I give you like however much I give you for child support, but you keep asking me for more because you need to pay for other things.
Yeah,
I just gave you enough money to lessen your load to help support the child.
So you're saying that you would rather give more time and effort than money if that was the case, if you could do it that way.
No, I'm just saying that if I'm supposed to give you a set amount, you can't, like as Vince said, you can't just go, oh yeah, well she decided to buy a Louis Vuitton purse. Now you owe me half.
Yeah, like you can't do that to your job.
Yeah.
You know, you put in work, you get a salary or something like that, and then just all of a sudden, hey, by the way, my kid needs braces, so I need more money.
I think part of it, just from a woman's perspective, is that the calculations are really not right. Like the way that they calculate it, you know, like time and how much you make. It's like unfair for both the man and also the woman because I don't think like it doesn't change with like inflation. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't change.
I personally think mine is way too high.
Yeah. I've seen that too. Like there's some people where I'm like, holy fuck, you have like, especially because I have such a low amount. You know what I mean? I'm like, how much do you get in child support? What the fuck? Like that like I know a woman that got like close to 2.
I knew a family member that was getting 4.
That's what I'm saying. So
1,000 a month.
That's so much to me. I think that's so in my opinion, and I'm not even trying to be like, oh, pick me. I'm agreeing with you. I think that's way too much. Like, how is the man supposed to fucking live if he's giving you his whole fucking paycheck every single time? So I think that's unfair. But also at the same time, I see women who are like me that don't ask for much. And the guy's like, well, I fucking gave you $200. And it's like, okay, but that now is just the cost of their school supplies. Like, what about everything else? You know, because sometimes I feel like that, even though I don't ask him for money, I'm like, okay, thanks for your $67 that you fucking gave me in child support. But I just paid that for the gas to drive her back and forth to school this week, you know? Like,
well, I mean, the thing is that, okay, let's make it clear. Like maybe I just want to like make myself clear. Like obviously if it's maybe I use school supplies and shit like that, maybe it was like a bad choice. But yeah, okay, we're back to school shopping. I gave money for child support, but then okay, I'll give extra money for clothes or whatever.
Yeah,
or, stuff for school.
Yeah,
but like if I'm giving you child support. Aside from school, because that only happens once a year, right? But now all of a sudden you're like, I'm already giving you so much. I'm giving you money every single month that lightens your load. Now you're like,
I need more.
I need more for other things.
I see what you're saying. It's almost like there's a set amount that was agreed upon for the child, and she's using that and using the child as a ploy to get more so that she could take care of other things too, basically.
Yeah. So basically, like if like I said, if your rent was 1,000 and I give you 500, so I'm cutting your rent in half.
Yeah. So you should be able to use that.
So where did your 500
that
go?
makes sense. Okay. I see what you're saying now. I see what you're saying.
Your 500 went to go use spending it somewhere else and not necessarily for the child. So that means my money was never for the child.
Yeah. It's almost like it's child support for them, and then they're asking you for child support on the side almost. Does that make sense?
No, yeah, it's like, okay, well,
it's almost like spousal support.
Yeah, because they're not really taking accountability for the what's it called, the responsibility. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you're with, if you have the majority of the custody, that means that you're going to take care of them. That means that you have to make some sacrifices.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I understand that I'm going to help out, lighten the load, and I'm going to pay my part in taking care of my kid. But like, you can't expect to be able to live the same with the same benefits of having me without having me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, that's why I don't understand, like, alimony is like, okay, we're divorced now, and you're still using my resources, but I don't get no coochie.
Yeah, you're like, where's the fairness?
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
Because like, think of it, like in a relationship, I want food and I want sex. I'm getting neither of those, but you're still getting that resource that you wanted from me. Yeah.
So do you guys think I should go chase that
Yes,
money?
you're being selfish. Go get it. Go get it.
Thank you. I'm surprised that you're saying that.
No, that, like, straight up, you're being selfish. Go get it.
Yeah, because it's for her.
Yeah. And even if it's not for her, it's still, I don't care. She's bad sometimes. Just take that money.
So here's the thing. Here's my question. I'm with Vince. I think you should go for it, right? Because I think you can. If you can, you should.
Yeah.
Is the money that you're getting from him consistent now?
No.
So if you ask for more, it's not gonna. It's gonna be zero.
Yeah.
So instead of getting once in a while, you're getting a payment. It's gonna be absolutely nothing
Why?
because it's
Well,
rate.
if he already can't pay you the little bit.
No, here's the reason why. It even came up, right? So supposedly this man, now I don't know because he's a big fat narcissist and liar, but I've heard through his family he's doing really, really well off for himself right now, and he started his own business. It's booming, and he's making a lot of money now, but a lot of it can be cash transactions, right? So he's got like a fucking nice car now. He's always wearing like he's just that kind of guy that's like super mayabang, you know, like wants to flash his shit all the time. And
So you're worried that he's doing cash transactions and all this cool stuff is coming from OfferUp, so it can't be traced.
well, no, well, that's the thing is like, that's the reason why he's gotten away with such low child support is because his jobs were always under the table or like cash.
Well, you technically could be the CEO of a company, and or the owner of a company, and your salary be $5 an hour.
Well, he just landed a contract with HP.
No, I'm saying.
But you know what I mean? Like it's like that successful.
But you can hide that though.
That right.
By the fact that
His company makes the money. He doesn't.
His company makes money. He doesn't. So his taxes, I was gonna say, he only makes $25,000 a year.
Right.
Yeah.
Which then significantly reduces. So at the end of the day, I mean, I just say, if the motherfucker ain't consistent, I ain't worried. I'm not even gonna worry, stress yourself out, having to go to court.
Yeah, it's been consistent for like the last, I want to say 6-8 months now, finally, but even the only time it wasn't consistent was when he was in and out of jail.
Yeah, but do you think that if you went back to court and you did it and they doubled it, it's gonna stay consistent?
I don't know. I mean, that's the thing about him, right? He's like a fucking shady ass motherfucker. Like, I have no idea. Supposedly he's changed his life and he's consistent and good now. So maybe, but I don't see him in that light. So in my head, I'm just like very doubtful, and I don't even want the headache, as you said, right? I'm like, I don't even know if I want to deal with that shit. But that's why
I think that, you should get it because that's what your daughter deserves. But at the end of the day, is it worth the headache?
Yeah.
I mean, that's your
kind of
that becomes your decision.
Right.
Like,
I know. That's why I kind of wanted to get your guys' take. Because, right, at the end of the day, it's like, fuck, do I really want to deal with that? I don't know. I really don't know.
the whole argument. What the fuck you taking me back to court?
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah. So my original answer is because if it was available, you should go for it. But if he seems like the type that isn't even gonna do it, then don't even bother.
yeah. Well, thank you. I just wanted to pick your guys' brains about that a little bit. So back to the topic, life after divorce. So we have viewers watching, obviously. So say there are gentlemen watching that are currently going through it with their wives and they're like on the brink of divorce. What would your advice be if that does happen? Like, okay, now they're going through the process. How would you teach someone to cope with it? What advice would you give as far as like the what not to do and what to do, things like that?
Well, obviously this backfired on Ari because we're gonna give some awesome advice.
It's totally
what you
fine.
do is you start your own business, right? And then you get paid through that, and then you pay yourself $5 an hour,
Yes.
so that when they come after you, they can't tax you that much. On the
That's it.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're a businessman,
yep.
have the business make the money, and you're paid from the business a generous living wage that ends up being
I don't get how that works though. Just explain that to me. Not even like
okay.
trying to be like a
So
smart.
you own a
like,
company, right? The company makes the money. The LLC makes the money. You hire yourself.
but they
you're-
can't see that you're the one that started the LLC.
It's an LLC.
No,
it's a company.
they
because the LLC isn't the dad, the LLC isn't the husband.
But you're hiring
The
yourself.
LLC
Yeah.
isn't that. So you're just an employee of this LLC. You have you have paperwork that says you earn $10 an hour, and that's how much you make a year in your taxes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Ain't that a
and then
motherfucker.
also date a girl named Charity because every time you give her money,
It goes to charity.
This guy. Okay.
yeah.
So we have the tips and tricks on the monetary portion. Is
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
anything else?
No, I think that you just have to come at it with a clear mind. Emotions get you. You know, you have to kind of like move emotions to the side.
Yeah, so don't stoop to her level. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, in their world, women are trash.
No, she was a good person.
No, but take your time. I mean, it's
Yeah.
there's nothing worse than leaving a relationship blinded by the fact that you could be the primary reason why the divorce happened, only for you to jump into another relationship and guess what? Same old story, same old shit.
What did you say earlier? That was like, oh, that's a good clippable moment. You said something about like, don't go into the relationship broken or something like that. You said something to that effect. Like,
Oh no. Yeah, when people rush into relationships, I mean, you're not gonna find anybody of quality when you're at your worst.
I love that. That's,
Right?
Yeah, that's good advice.
You're not you broke people date broke people, not in a monetary way, but they do too. But I mean, like broken people date broken people because that's who you attract.
That's true.
Yeah, it's kind of like what you've said a lot, which was you can't build a new house with the
Same bricks.
same
Yeah.
bricks.
Oh yeah, I like that one too.
Yeah.
No, it's the
Obviously.
same with like every girl I've been with cheats on me. Well, maybe you should stop. Maybe it's you.
Yeah.
You're the only common denominator in this thing. So you trying to make it so you're not the common denominator. Take your time. I mean, it's going to be very lonely moments. There's going to be a lot of guilt, but you just have to, hopefully, stand strong.
Also, if you guys for the newly single and the newly divorced guys, go to the bank to get your ones, because if you get the ones at the strip club, they take 10 to 20%. So
Just
don't
so
exchange.
you know.
Yeah, don't exchange your 20s because you're gonna be taxed on that twice. ATMs are usually $3.50, so that's already what 15%. Plus the additional 10 to 20% that they're taking from that $20 when they're exchanging your 20 to ones.
Yeah,
So if you guys
basically.
are gonna go out, make sure you get your ones from the bank. You laugh. That's good advice.
Okay, so oh shit, I had another question and I fucking lost it. It went whoop. So I asked you about advice for the people that are watching that are getting divorced.
And then I gave great advice about ones.
About ones. Oh, that's what I was gonna ask.
See, brought her back.
So when you say like take your time, right? What do you think are some, but from both of you, what do you think are some key factors into really healing properly as a male to make you ready for the next relationship? Like, do you think like you need to like go to therapy or read books, or like what do you think are some key components that are tangible for people to do in regards to being better and healing and taking their time?
Okay, I think a lot of it. I mean, it's gonna be different
Right.
But take care of your health, exercising,
It's a good one.
right? It can gives you a clear mind. Something maybe I should practice what I preach, but and just be open to that criticism, because in doing the divorce part, doing whatever happened, you're being criticized, right?
Yeah.
So if there's anything that's been mentioned, this is why you always do this, you always do that.
Reflect on it a little.
Reflect on it and then try to fix it. Because if it's mentioned all the time, guess what? You do it all the time. And if it's going to piss somebody off, more than likely it's going to piss the next person off too.
That's good advice. I like that, Rich.
You know what I mean? So yeah, you fix yourself. And when I mean fix yourself, don't just sit there and go, sitting in your hot tub with your cigar and go, I'm single now, whatever. Like, and just push that shit away and then just stay single for the next month and say, oh, it's, like almost like, what is that? Like the New Year resolution, New Year, New Me kind of bullshit.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Just,
I like that. What about you, Vince? Do you have any like words of wisdom or like steps that you think are like crucial in the proper healing or growing as a man in after divorce?
So from experience, it's a little bit harder for me to say. I'm going to actually talk about not the divorce itself, but breakup. And with the breakups, they've been a lot easier for me just because there's a lot of things that I've consciously done to prioritize my significant other where I would neglect a lot of things. But ever since they're gone, now I can focus on the things that I put aside for them. And I could really focus on myself. Because the things that I was focusing on, I view them as positive things. So it was working on myself, but it was an enjoyable way of working on myself. So yeah, don't forget who you are. I would definitely say that, because in a relationship, there is a lot of sacrifice.
Yeah.
And you may lose yourself in trying to make the other person happy, but the only person that you're supposed to make happy is yourself.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, guys. Is there anything else that you'd like to say about this topic before we close out?
The question though, like Vince said just now, he's like, there's a lot of things I neglected for the sake of the relationship. But why do you have to neglect it?
That's a good question.
No, I mean, there are some things, like, let's say I'm passionate about DJing and photography. I was very inconsistent. It's, at the time I might not be good at it, or I might not be getting all of the connections that I have. So having a second job is going to be more lucrative and reliable, and it's just more responsible. So I'll just do that, maybe
For the sake of the relationship though?
Because like if I have a mouth to feed, like if I'm still with my daughter's mom, yeah, I'll definitely prioritize the things that we need over the things that I want.
Oh no, that makes sense. But I'm saying like you're saying with your breakups that like your most recent one, the last one, what did you have to give up for the sake of that?
Well, I didn't want to be around her all the time. Like I could remember, we opened the studio after we broke up. You know, me and my partner opened the studio after we broke up. There was no way that I'll be able to spend this much time here without her either being right there or mad at me at home. You know, there was and the way that she was.
But wouldn't that be the red flag though? Like I'm just asking because
No,
that's
true.
Because the minute you see that I can't, like intern number 2 and I had a discussion. If this was going to happen, this is my schedule.
Yeah.
Like you
have to be understanding of
you
that.
can't stop me from doing this and this.
Okay, but also so that's completely understandable. But there's a lot of things that we start too that we may not know that it's going to be okay. Well, this is the thing because we started doing this. We've done like online
live
podcasts
streams,
for a while, right? But
she was next to you the whole time.
Yeah, she was next to me the whole time, right?
Yeah.
He's like the whole time.
With the
no,
seriously, the whole time. Yeah,
smoking like smoking a cigarette. Like
So there was that. But what if we wanted to start doing like podcasts with the girls, right? Yeah, she might be supportive, but in the back of her head, it's like I have to be a different person because I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings because she's watching me. No, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you might grow into those things and you may not even know it. Like I love DJing, but how many gigs did I have when I was with her?
0.
Exactly. You know, because she wasn't she was supportive, but
with
it was hard. I also understood that it was hard for her to see me having fun with other people. You know?
Really?
That's red flag.
Yeah. Well, no, I loved having fun with her. I loved prioritizing her, and this is one of those things that I was saying that I was.
But would you only do that with choice people that you can be? Because if you had fun, no, never mind.
See,
never mind.
Right?
Yeah.
And
even with the closest people that she's close with,
exactly,
there was still a problem.
So consciously, I would set aside the things that I loved doing and the people that I loved being with for somebody that would potentially be my future. But after that, quickly I was roller skating again. You know, I was you know, like I was doing that. I was doing more photo shoots. Or like we're eating $2 steaks all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Moving forward, going into a new relationship, would you say that that's not something you're willing to compromise anymore? Like you want to be with someone that
No, not even at all. They have to understand my lifestyle.
Okay.
And they have to understand how my choices are. But also being mature, I know that there are things that we might grow into that we like, and I have to understand her personality traits to know that there's a potential that we can grow into that together, or that they can be accepting of me getting into that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's cool. Like she doesn't have to go monster truck rallies with me. She doesn't have to enjoy using a 3D printer or arts and crafts or going to DJ battles or
she just wants to be supportive.
But she has to understand that I have my cave, you know?
Yeah.
And if she enjoys it too, and I can enjoy it with her, because she might like Marvel movies, but if she talks in that movie, she can't go with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So she has to be acceptable of it and willing to compromise. And I will do the same thing for her. I'll do my best to compromise and be acceptable of the things that she likes. Mm-hmm. But there's, red flags. Like I can't just be like, "Oh, babe, you know what? I think I'm really into hookers now." It's you know what? I don't think so.
Yeah.
So
yeah. The whole thing with our hobbies or whatever, we that's a good thing with intern number 2. Like she always tell me thank you for allowing me into your world.
Yeah.
I love that.
You know what I mean?
Green flag.
Green, yeah. Green flag.
Yeah.
Remember, I don't know if you were here for this or if we had this discussion off camera or whatever. Remember, I was telling you that there would never double dating doesn't work.
No, wait. Remind me. What did
I don't
you
know
say?
if I said this to you or if we were talking at Pacers. I was like, yeah, double dating wouldn't work. The only way that my significant other would go out with Rich and his significant other on a double date is if me and Rich were kicking it and we let them come. Honestly.
Why?
Because people get competitive.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And
It's
then
like,
they
no,
start
I
comparing
got
each
this.
other.
No,
Yeah.
I got this. And then it's like, oh, I'll kiss her. And then next person is like, must be nice. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know
There's
what
a
I'm
lot
saying?
of shit. That's
No,
true. I've seen
but
that too.
if me and Rich go to a hockey game, right?
Yeah.
And the girls are allowed to come with us, they can have fun, but me and Rich are there.
Yeah. We're there.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for sharing some personal shit.
We better now, though.
Yeah, they're better. They're grown. They're learning. He's almost there. And if there's anyone that
he's
can,
there.
no,
he's in a relationship right now.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. You're in a relationship that you were voluntold into a relationship.
Unbeknownst to you.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Hopefully, you get some coochie out of that. Supposedly that's not happening yet, right?
No, he doesn't do. Remember, he said he doesn't do one night stands.
Oh, that's right. But they're in a relationship, though. In her mind, they're in a relationship.
That's how you get out of that.
There you go.
Oh.
All right. So on that note,
I was supposed to be at work like 2 hours ago, and I'm recording because I think that she's working tonight.
oh damn, she's gonna see this episode.
No,
What
she's
do
not.
you mean
She
this
doesn't
is
know.
not real?
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Again, thank you so much for sharing some personal stuff with us. I know it's not always an easy topic when you dig into like old traumas and old past experiences. So thank you.
I can't wait till the
I had fun.
because we're gonna do the women's side, right? I want to know. I probably won't even be here. I'll probably be on the side somewhere listening.
Definitely the guys will probably be on the sidelines, but I see them already rolling their eyes and being like, in the background. So we'll see.
No,
how
I'm
that
actually
goes.
like
No, we're mature. Me and Rich are mature. We're mature enough to know that when that episode starts, we're gonna go get something to eat.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sounds good. Okay,
We're
guys.
gonna pick up smoking and smoke
I'm
outside.
gonna start drinking. I'm gonna start drinking.
He's going to take shots and he doesn't even drink. I know. All right. Well, thank you guys again for tuning in to another episode and listening to us yap for another hour. We thank you guys for sticking with us, and we hope you guys enjoy what's coming up on season 4. You guys have anything else to say?
Bye.
All right. We'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Good job, guys.